Enstitü Sosyal, we work on decolonial thinking. For us, decolonialism isn't only political or economic, it's also cultural. About voice, story, memory, and who gets to speak. Permission to speak, permission to narrate. And that is why having you here, Basel. It's very important for our global reflections series. Your work helps us to see how stories can challenge and change power, and how people can take back their own truth. And let's begin very simply. I think this is an important question. Who are you? And can you tell us about yourself? I think everybody knows you, even President Erdogan today. But I want to hear from you. Who are you?
Well, first of all, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I'm very happy to be in Turkey, and thanks for the hospitality for this social institute for arranging this event, for the president for hosting me today, for your hospitality. So. I am Basel Adra from Masafer Yatta. Masafer Yatta is a small town of 20 small villages in the southern occupied West Bank, south of Hebron city. I grew up in a family and in this community for farmers' family, simple life. Away from the occupation, simple life that we're just villages, want to live like our simple life, but as we show in other land, even this simple life faced with a lot of tragedy due to the existence of the occupation.
You were born in occupation, and day by day you live occupation, and day by day genocide. What shaped you in this period from birth and today?
Well, first of all, the life, you, in my case and millions of Palestinians like children cases, you're born to a reality. You don't need somebody even to explain and to tell you what's going on around you, because you might, like in my case, play in the street. Suddenly you see like huge bulldozers with foreign military entering your village, and they decide to destroy the mosque or the house. When they leave, then you find like settlers that live in the illegal outpost on the land of my grandfather, like wearing masks, for example, and coming down, burning olive trees, or trying to burn a house of the other neighbors of my relatives. So shaping us our reality that you need to do something for yourself, for your family, for your community. For me, in my case, I grew up in a community, one of the villages of Masafer Yatta called Twani, and in this village, it's known that people face and confront, like they don't take it easy, like they fight back. And I grew up in this reality. My parents also were activists. They fight to build a school in my village. There was no any school to educate the people of Masafer Yatta. My father didn't go to school. There was no school exist there to have the opportunity to be educated, but he fighted with other like community leaders to build the school. So me and people and the young people of my generation and the kids today having this opportunity of education. So the reality and the life day to day make us to do something for ourselves and our community and our land. Yes, I am known like now because of the Oscar, but there are millions of Palestinians who are like who's activists and who actively try to do something against this occupation. For me, anybody that lives in the conditions that we show, for example, just in another land, like got your home destroyed and you rebuild it, they come back and destroy and you rebuild it, and they like it could happen, and it happened actually, that some families lose their home 5 times in 2 years and they keep rebuilding it. This also resistance and activism and like existence in this conditions is resistance.
And you discovered power of storytelling. When did you when did you discover power of storytelling?
You know, it comes from a place that I realized, like when I was a teenager, that all these crimes that's happening against us stays there. You know, people outside of Masafer Yatta doesn't know about this place, doesn't know that we existing, that we face day to day this like these crimes, and worse than that, like in the mainstream, especially in the West mainstream media, Israel is represented as like the only democracy in the Middle East, and all this blah 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 like narrative that they are working on it. And for me as a young person, like facing this, and it make me angry. So I want to do something to tell the truth, to tell the world that what you are receiving, what is shown to you, it's not the truth. The truth is here, is in Masafer Yatta, it's in Jordan Valley, it's in Jerusalem, it's in Jenin, it's in Gaza. And so I just start to film and document, taking camera in my hand and run wherever something happens, film it, and use social media, write articles, any method to try to reach to the audience, to tell the people that we're here. The movie was not in the plan, like I start film years before the movie, but by looking on a methods how to show this evidence that I'm collecting, you know, it came the idea of making a documentary, and we start working on it.
And you have interaction with international activists in your village, isn't it?
Yes, my village receiving like solidarity activists, both Israeli and international, since I was at least 3-year-old. The people coming and spending time in our homes, sleeping with families that are close to settlements, to outposts, escorting children that goes to school and afraid to get they get attacks by settlers, going out with shepherds when people cultivate the land. Many of these activists got attacked brutally, deported by authorities, and killed. Aisha, the American Turkish activist, was shot in Beta in Nablus.
Yes, and you are seeking truth, and truth is important for resistance. What does it mean, truth, in post-truth era for you?
Well, we as I said, a lot of time we suffered from the biased reports and biased narrative that were separated against us as a Palestinian in the world, because the media in somehow controlled, especially in the West, like in Europe and the US, because these countries are the countries that backing this Zionist regime. So we always seek to show the truth, and nothing else than the truth. It's very important to tell and to affect and to influence the public opinion around the world on what's happening.
And another issue, colonialism. Colonialism, not historical issue, but today's issue, today's problem. And what you want to say about colonialism and decolonialism?
I mean, what I want to say that we are, as Palestinians, generation after generation, harmed by colonialization, and we wish, and we are doing to try to end it, and it must be ended from the world. Unfortunately, as I said, this regime got to be backed. Money, with weapons, with financial support, with diplomatic support, like the US using the veto almost each time there is a decision at the Security Council against us as a Palestinians in the favor of the Israeli. The Israelis are supported by these countries. And the reason is colonization, because this state has been invented and created by the West. And for me, as their settlement on our land to serve their needs and their services. And it play a role like in the genocide, but also in the media term, how they got their outlets and media to be biased against us, like to support programs, financial, and to have, for example, like those countries in the same time, like they would always claim that they are democratic countries, that they support and protecting international law, the system that they created after World War II. But when it comes to Israel, is exceptional, and they are seeing Israel is committing genocide and apartheid, and all human rights organization calling like what's happening in Gaza genocide, about the apartheid. But still, those countries, they can say that they are supporting and defending and protecting international law and having a normalizing a relationship with the state that every day like violating international law.
And you have unique experience on the road of Oscar. And is this an opportunity to tell truth or to another type of to cover the truth? As Oscar you received.
It's not clear.
Is this a great opportunity to receive Oscar to tell truth, or cover for the you are Oscar guy and please speak no more?
Yeah, for me, I would be honest that it's a great achievement for the community, for the people, for me as well, in terms of political, like fighting the narrative. As a person, I don't like the privilege. For example, during December, we had like settlers entering our fields, and we go to kick them out, and then they throw stones at us, and they try to run over my brother with a ATV. And then after that, we like more army joined, more settlers, and we ran away. I took my brother to the hospital, and then the military invade my home. They detained my wife. They searched the phone. They tried to call me from it, and this action, like army entering my home, got so much attention, like from the mainstream media around the world, and the journalists calling and writing. I mean, it's a good thing to focus on what the Israelis are doing, but just 1 week before that, there was a horrendous attack by Israeli settler at midnight against families that living nearby. I ran there like with a car. We went with other friends. When we get a call, 70s and 80s years old people and babies and women and children were like bleeding. This entire village were turned to rebels during May, and then they didn't leave. So settlers came and commit really big crime attacking them. People were bleeding with their hands broken, with their heads. Children, like around 10 people were like bleeding and got severe attacks, and other people got to tear gas and pepper sprayed. That event didn't get any type of attention from media. They're not interested talking about it. So this thing a lot of time put me it's a challenge for me. I don't want to have this much attention when just because soldiers enter my home, and these families that they got very huge attack that deserve all journalists to talk and to write and to interview these families and to focus on this issue. Nothing. Why? I know, because there are many settlers attacks, and when this has become a routine, then it's not a case for the journalists to continue to talk about it.
You have a documentary and you got Oscar, and your film and another movie from this year, Palestine 36. Your documentary and another historical documentary fiction maybe. What can you say about films about Palestine this year or for this generation? Why those stories still matter?
Well, this is our history, and I'm very happy that there are people think to turn our stories like the revolution that happened in the 36 into fiction movie and show it to the world. As I said, we as Palestinians suffered in terms of the media, and also the movie industry. It was very very weak. I'm happy that it's getting it's improving, and there are movies like Palestine 36, because our history deserves to be taught to people. Like Nakba, there's not a lot of people know about Nakba because there's no powerful movies made about the 500 villages that were erased and the 700,000 Palestinians were displaced from their homes. So all these stories that our history deserves to be to have movies about, to teach people and to make people know about our situation. Because for a lot of people in the world, for them, this conflict started on October 7th. Before October 7th, was everything was okay. So we have to tell them, and we have to teach them through movies about the Revolution 36, about the first Intifada, second Intifada, about the Nakba, about all these periods where.
And what will be your next steps?
I don't know yet, because I'm kind of busy with this movie, to travel, to talk about with the reality, with the facts, with the attacks that the communities are receiving. It's much worse than it was before. I continue writing, sometimes filming, but less than before because the situation is more dangerous. Yeah.
And what would you say about young audience in Turkey, in Istanbul, Turkish young generation?
Well, young generation always have energy, have power, and I hope people continue to with their activities, with their work, wherever and whatever they can do. I would say, never say to something that this is small, this will not affect. In our situation, we need every action, just to speak about Palestine every day, to recommend movies like Palestine 36, No Other Land, sharing articles, educate people about what's going on is very important. Boycotts movement is very important. I don't know in your case what else people here can do. For sure they know from their place better than me to be organized and to do activities.